Cheers, darling. The show must go on. Your business must go on. We must continue to move forward no matter what happens in our lives and in our careers, in our businesses, and in the world, the whole world. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here with the idiom, of course, show must go on. This is an expression, an idiom from the theater. Back in the day, William Shakespeare said about one of his plays, play out the play, play out the play. No matter what happens, play out the play. So if the actors, or it was all actors back in his day, if one of them got sick or fell ill, the show went on anyway. Someone would take that person's place. If the scenes and the sets were falling down, if the theater was crumbling around them, they would still perform. They would still do the performance and do the show. No matter what, the show would proceed. The end goal, the main thing that people were working toward would happen no matter what. We see that in events up until COVID-19. You know, different events would be scheduled, different events would go on no matter what. Weddings would carry on even if grandma or grandpa got sick. Funerals would happen despite the weather, right? We would go on picnics, we would have events despite external conditions like the weather. The show must go on. It basically means that we proceed to move toward our goal and our objective no matter what breaks down, no matter what goes wrong. We'll go ahead and move toward that. So in Shakespeare's time, it had all to do with the theater, but by the 20th century, this saying was moved on to anything, any event, any big thing would move forward despite any catastrophe that might befall us. Now, COVID-19 has really tested us in many, many ways with respect to our businesses, our individual lives, our careers, our jobs, everything. Every aspect of our life is kind of been thrown up in the air simultaneously. And I haven't come across a single human being that isn't in some way, shape, or form affected and forever changed. We are forever changed by this current pandemic, right? At first I thought, oh, we'll be shut down for a couple of weeks and then things will pretty much go back to normal. And after, the first week or so of things changing back in March now, when we were coming toward April and we realized for another whole month we were going to be shut down. And now that it's up in the air, we don't know how long it's going to be. It's uncertain. I came to realize, guess what, gang? Pretty early on, this has happened, and just like any other major event, even a major event, because guess what? Major events have been happening in each and every one of our individual lives all along. It's just now we're having this global event that's impacting millions and millions and millions of people all simultaneously in similar ways. So if you ever felt like you were alone before in handling difficulties and challenges, guess what? Definitely not alone right now. And that kind of reduces the stress of the situation in many aspects, knowing that I am definitely not the only one whose business has had to make massive changes and pivots. My daughter is not the only one who lost her job because of this pandemic. My son is not the only one facing chronic pain and chronic illness during this time. And guess what? He's been facing it all along. And I think some of us have come into this more prepared than others, based on, believe it or not, the amount of crap and challenges and crises that we've personally faced in the past and already had to overcome. I feel a little guilty some days that I'm not freaked out, because I have had so many things go down in my past and so many challenges in my past that I had to figure out how to work my way through and overcome, that to me, this pandemic, yes, something as big and global as a pandemic, is having actually less effect on me than my sudden cardiac arrest, less effect on me than when I got shut down for kidney surgery, less effect on me than losing my vision, right? So I've had to go through so many, and being bedridden, there's so many physical challenges that I have, physical separation challenges that I've had in the past. It almost was like I was being prepared for this. So each of our situations is different, and I felt very alone in all of those situations. But in this situation, I feel like I am just one of the billions of people on the planet, and we're all going through this together. And we'll all figure it out. The show must go on. Our lives will go on. Our world will go on. But what I want to tell you and really drive home today is the message that your business must go on. You need to show up in the world. This is such a profound and huge change for our world, it's imperative that each and every one of us that have a business, that have stepped up to lead in any way, shape, or form, continue to step up and lead. Is it scary? Is it hard? Is it uncertain? Do we need to make a lot of changes and figure things out? Absolutely. But guess what? As a leader and business owner, you've been doing that all along. You stepped up and you created a business. You created something for your life. And we're not going to let anything like a little pandemic shut down our businesses and wipe us out, because there is always a way to figure out how to move forward and how to proceed and ensure that our business survives. No matter what type business you're in, I guarantee your business can and will survive this pandemic if you so choose. The critical element in all of it is you. And the interesting thing about crises and challenges and pandemics is they don't make us. People say they make us and they provide opportunity. But the truth is the opportunities have been there all along. We just weren't seeing them. We weren't able to see them because we were so usually set in our ways and used to doing things a certain way that they'd always been done. So this is a huge opportunity for us to blow up how we've done our business in the past, how we've served people. The other thing about the show must go on, the thing about crises and thing about pandemics is they actually reveal to ourselves what our priorities are and what we really truly value. I'm going to share a little quick story about when I was younger, when my kids were young. And I feel pretty guilty about this. And I'm trying to kind of fix it a little bit. You can't go back and fix it, but I'm trying to sort of repair it now in my life by hanging out with my 4-year-old granddaughter for this year. It was going to be this year until she could go to school, but now with the pandemic, it's like all the time, which is so fun and so rejuvenating for me, as well as I think it's good for her too. But when my kids were little, I believed that my priority was my family and that my kids were my priority, and my ex-husband, of course, who's now my ex-husband, obviously he wasn't my priority, were my priority. I believed that in my heart. Yet, I was working all the time. I had a corporate job that, had me traveling. I think I went on 20 trips in 8 weeks, one period of time. It had me traveling all the time. It had me away from my family. One year I missed every holiday, every birthday, and I missed my wedding anniversary because I was traveling so much. So was my family really my priority? Not so much. It wasn't until I lost that job and was looking for another job and working and having businesses on the side that I realized that I was totally not living consistently with what was important to me, what I valued, and what my priorities were. And so that was one of the first times I gave myself permission to shift a little bit and spend more time with my family and more time actually with the people I love and care about, instead of doing what I thought I should do. Now I always convinced myself that working all the time was showing my family that I loved them, and I'm not the only one that's fallen into this trap, although I'm sure at the time I believed I was. Where I thought by working all the time, I was demonstrating to them how much I love them, but it was really doing just the opposite. So the whole point of that is experiences and things like this pandemic actually show us, if we're willing to look at it, what our priorities are, what we value, and what's important to us. And what it is isn't good or bad. It just is what it is. If I value money and business and the thrill of the game more than my relationships, that's okay. I can do that. But I also have to understand that I might not have some of the relationships that I want to have if that's the choices that I'm making. So the show must go on in terms of it'll reveal to us who and what is important to us, and we need to make sure that we're letting those people know that. Now, the flip side of that, and this can be a double-edged sword for business owners, is times like this reveal to our customers and those people that we serve how much we really, truly, and sincerely and authentically value them. How much we love and value and know that the only reason our business exists is because of them. And the way we behave, the way we respond as business owners and leaders to our customers, are we going out and looking for more ways to serve and help them? Or are we pretty much hunkering down and just doing our own thing? That gives a clear message to our customers how we feel about them and where they fit in the priority of our business or not. One of the things that can kill your business and make sure it doesn't survive this is if you absolutely positively just shut down your business and ignore your customers. If you're not looking for ways to contact them and serve them and find ways to help them and solve their current problems, you're going to probably struggle when things go back to being a little more opened up and your business can open its doors again. So that's kind of a warning, right? Realize that good or bad, crises like this and any kind of a challenge to your business and your life reveals to yourself and all the people around you exactly who you are. So make sure you're revealing who you really are and who you really want to be, and setting up your priorities and your business the way you want it to be moving forward. That's it. Really interesting idiom. Love this idiom. I've definitely used it in my business and in my life, and I will continue to do so. Go out, make it an absolutely amazing day. If I can help you in any way without my mask, just hit me up in the comments below. If there's an idiom you'd like to know the origin of or the meaning of and how it might be able to be applied to our businesses and our lives right now, ask me that in the comments below too. Have an amazing day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.